PSG and Bayern throw up some serious entertainment. Neymar to stay put, Barca make some contract headway, a transfer roundup, and today's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes. As I'm your host, Matt Froelich, you are the OneFootballers, and this is the Daily News. First up, and last night's Champions League action was absolutely scintillating. If you were watching the PSG versus Bayern Munich match, I actually saw a tweet which summed this up brilliantly. That, obviously, aside from Chelsea and Porto fans, if you decided to watch that other game both weeks instead of watching the PSG versus Bayern tie, you have missed out big time. Although the scoreline shows that it was just 1-0 to Bayern on the night, and it means that the reigning champions do go out and Pochettino's PSG do go through to the semi-finals, the game was brilliant. End-to-end stuff, very intense, high energy, some serious quality players on show, and it was just a shame for Bayern that they could not find the back of the net. The same thing could be said for PSG though. Mbappe had a goal ruled out for offside, Neymar hit the woodwork twice, and it was a brilliant performance from him, and all in all, it was just such good entertainment. I don't know about you guys, but especially without fans in stadiums, it feels like the intensity and the overall excitement of football this season hasn't been so great. So to see these two games in the space of a week of each other has definitely been really, really fun. What it means is that PSG are yet again finding themselves in the Champions League semi-final. After seemingly bottling it for the first few seasons of Neymar's reign at the club, now it looks like he is really finding his own in the team. Mbappe is becoming more and more efficient, and under Mauricio Pochettino, they seem to be set up perfectly on the counter-attack. But not just on the counter-attack, they're also pretty good at defending. Of course, they did lose 1-0 on the night, but they held their nerve towards the end of the game to make sure that they progressed through to the next round. And as for Bayern, it goes without saying that if you don't have the best striker in the world in your team, you're probably going to score less goals. Like, fair play to Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. He did grab the only goal of the night, which actually gave him the 1-0 victory. But over two legs, Bayern Munich had 45 shots and only scored 3 goals. I can't help but think if Lewandowski was in the team, they would have done something else. But anyway, it doesn't matter. PSG are through, and deservedly so, and they'll be facing the winners of Manchester City or Dortmund, who play off tonight. In the other game, though, Chelsea actually lost. This is rather a bizarre one. I honestly thought that Chelsea were comfortably through after winning 2-0 in the first leg, and the second leg, again, played in Seville because of COVID regulations, wasn't actually the most exciting. The only good thing was if you switched on in injury time, right at the end of the game, where you saw Porto's goal. My God, one of the best bicycle kicks I've ever seen. Like, on the full, perfect bicycle kick, top corner. It just came a little bit too late for Porto, who maybe could have staged the most unbelievable comeback had they had a few more minutes. As for the rest of the game, yeah, it was pretty boring. So I've heard. I can honestly say I did not watch that game. Like I mentioned before, and pretty much the rest of the world, I was watching the PSG Bayern game. Anyway, Thomas Tuchel after the game said that he would rather play Real Madrid instead of Liverpool, obviously referring to the other quarterfinal that's taking place tonight. And the reason being is actually nothing tactical. He just rather would play a team not from his own domestic league like Liverpool because it makes it more of an interesting European game. Obviously, Real Madrid 3-1 up from the first leg, and it's going to be very difficult for Liverpool to turn this one around. Moving on though, and the good news for PSG doesn't quite stop there, as Neymar said after the game that he is completely happy at the club and that there's no more talk of whether or not he will sign a contract because it's an absolute given. And this is major news. I can't help but feel that the culture, the way that PSG is viewed from the outside and from the team within the project as well, is changing ever so slightly. A few years ago, it felt as though you go to PSG, they don't make it far in the Champions League, you collect if you're a player this is, you collect a ridiculous pay packet, absolutely smash the French division, and then you kind of leave. Now it feels like their project is really taking off and they're attracting players in for the long term as well. It's not just overpaying maybe older stars or having a team that is just completely capable of absolutely ruining, like I said, the French league, but not really doing so well in the Champions League. Now, if they can attract Neymar to the club and convince him to stay with all the money and all the prospects of the team being better in the future, if they can keep Kylian Mbappe as well, this is well and truly showing that PSG are building themselves for the future and not just looking for a quick win. It's a massive statement if they get Neymar signed on the dotted line. And I believe in the next few weeks, according to sources, even including Fabrizio Romano, the transfer guru, that the contract is waiting and ready, and all Neymar needs to do is put pen to paper. Once he's done that, they can start to look at Kylian Mbappe, although personally I do think his future does lie away from Paris. And talking about contracts, Barcelona are the latest to sign up a few of their young players, and also looks like they're looking looking towards the future. So, first off, and Oscar Mingueza has had his contract extended because there was an option in it to take it for a further year. This takes his current deal up to 2023, but the defender isn't stopping there. Apparently, the board, as well as exercising this option in his contract, are sitting down with his representatives to give him an even longer deal because they really believe that he could be the defensive future of the club. With that long hair, he's already halfway to going to recreating Puyol's legendary status at the club. He just needs to back it up with an insane amount of ridiculous defensive performances. Having made his debut this season, I actually think he's slotted really well into the Barcelona side at both right back and at centre back, and has shown some fantastic performances, especially in the last couple of months with Barcelona's brilliant turn in form. As well as this, they're also sitting down to discuss a new contract with Sergio Roberto. His contract expires in 2022. They don't want to lose him on a free, but he is one of these 4 captains at the club. He's Barcelona through and through, and I highly doubt that he's going to be leaving. They'll probably extend his contract, as well as Pedri's. We spoke about this recently. What a player he is. What a brilliant youngster. And the fact they signed him last summer only on a 2-year deal goes to show that maybe they were a little bit apprehensive about him at the start and they didn't really need to offer him a massive deal. But now, having seen how good he is, and there was reported interest from Liverpool, although I think that's just paper talk, they're going to want to sign Pedri down to a very, very long deal. Of course, at the moment, it's a very difficult financial situation for Barcelona, so it looks as though they're going to be offering their players a little bit of a lesser wage, but on a longer-term deal. So next up then, a quick roundup of the rest of the day's news that you might have missed. And Hansi Flick, after seeing his Bayern side crash out of the Champions League, has admitted that he is thinking about his future at the club. Borussia Dortmund's chief executive has said there will not be any cheaper deals going on for the likes of Jadon Sancho or Erling Haaland this summer, meaning if anyone wants to buy them, they're going to have to pay that top dollar. Barcelona are looking towards a contract for Sergio Aguero. However, they will not be matching the €10 million per year salary that has currently been offered by Juventus. And lastly but not least, this one made me laugh. I'm not so sure whether it's actually true, just a bit of a rumour at the moment, but apparently Valencia have offered their Portuguese winger Goncalo Guedes to Wolves. It's like they're in a bit of a financial situation here. They need some money. They've got an asset. They've got a Portuguese player that they're willing to sell, and they think, who's going to buy a Portuguese player? Yeah, Wolves will probably buy him. Send them the email. I don't know if it's true, but just the fact that they thought, yeah, screw it, Wolves will take him, is just excellent. Anyway, moving on, and lastly but not least, we come to this week's great debate where the guys in the OneFootball Newsroom pose a question for all of you. Now, you can find my and their answer in the relevant article in the OneFootball app, but for the comments section, we want to know who is going to finish in the top 4 this season. So I think it's fairly obvious the first 2 places are going to go to Manchester City as title winners, than Manchester United in second place. But the race for 3rd and 4th is heating up, and I can't help but feel that Leicester are on a little bit of a slide, but may just make it. And I'm actually going to go for Chelsea in 3rd. There is a huge game, if you didn't already know, happening next weekend, I believe. What's the date? Yes, next weekend. Chelsea play West Ham, both of them going for that 4th spot, both of them so close, and this can have a massive impact on who finishes where. But I think Chelsea are really starting to hit some form if you take away the West Brom defeat last weekend. So I'm going to go for Chelsea in 3rd and Leicester to cling on just in 4th. It's going to be very, very close, and I think West Ham, if anyone, are going to be the one to pip Leicester to that 4th place spot. But of course, there's also Liverpool in the mix as well, so you can't rule them out either. But yeah, Man City, Man United, Chelsea and Leicester. There you have it then. You guys let me know your thoughts down below and check out everything else we've got going on. But until next time, I will see you guys later.